Doing it.
Jai Guruji, how are you all?
Good, Auntie. We are just starting the recording. Just 1 minute. Namaste to Guruji. Jai Guruji, Auntie.
Jai Guruji. So, in this chapter, it speaks about how important the role of a guru is in his devotee's life. So, the role of the master is to help each child go through their lot and their karma and the experiences with calmness, wisdom, courage, and positive acceptance. So when I had skin cancer, no, sorry, when I had breast cancer, um, I would go through the karma, which I believed it was karma, with a lot of calmness. But that calmness also Guruji gave. It's his meher. So, and the wisdom to know that this too shall pass. So the calmness, because I did not want to react to it, I simply accepted it. And wisdom to know that this too shall pass. Courage, we need courage and strength to go through the entire gamut of, radiation and the treatments, going into hospitals in and out. And of course, positive acceptance, to go through it with positive acceptance, knowing that Guruji is always walking beside us. So, Ang Sange Guruji. So, whatever we have to go through in life, we must go through it with total positive surrender. They were back in the cave. No matter where Kaz was, it was the cave that made him feel most at home. He felt as though he had Baba Sai all to himself. Though the countless sparks flying into Baba, emitting from Baba, and leaving the cave left Kaz in no doubt that Baba was with whosoever really called out to him. So wherever we are sitting, whether we're in east, west, north, south, if we remember our Guru, then Guruji emits those sparks and makes it known to us that he is always with us. We must never doubt his presence in our lives because he really shows his presence when we deeply and truly, sincerely remember Guruji. Then he shows us, Maybe tere naaliyan. Baba, there are so many who are going through hell, which is again true, even in today's world. The Hindus believe that there are 33 crore gods and goddesses, and there are so many masters. I mean, there are more gods in heaven than there are people in a few countries down here on Mother Earth. Why can't you all just work something out and tell those going through their private hell? You are such a classical idiot, says Baba Sai, my draft child, my daft child. The answer is simple, Rabda. Either you believe that God does not exist, that there is no supreme power running this grand show, or you believe in a just God. You cannot believe in a God who exists but is unjust. God is completely just. He loves each and every being, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may seem to others. God exists and throbs in a worm just as he breathes and works through a perfect master and archangels. The truth is that in each being exists the one. But in human beings, the ability to realize and become one with the Almighty can be realized the fastest and easiest. That is why it is said that mankind was created in the image of the Lord. And even angels used to bow down to mankind. The true image of mankind is a throbbing God waiting to be realized. So God is within us. He's latent. His energy is latent. And we need to awaken it. And Guruji's made it so simple to realize that God consciousness within us by doing the part, by doing mantra jap, by really remembering him and loving him at all times. Mankind is a vault where the one resides, but most often is buried under the illusions, desires, reactions, and past experiences. As though God exists in each one of us. He, she is so bloody well hidden that lifetimes go by before one first realizes that God exists within the individual, and then another few lifetimes go by in just clearing the clutter. To blame God and Master for being unjust is just like going to a restaurant, eating to your heart's content, drinking till your liver begins to protest. But when the bill comes, the time to pay for what you have eaten, drunk, and indulged in, you start saying that the restaurant is mean, unfair, unjust, and why are you forced to pay? And why is this amount to be paid far greater than that for the people seated on the other table? The people seated on the other table may have had simple food, and thus the final bill is far less than the former one. But imagine the individual grumbling and fighting and cursing, saying that the owner is unfair. Where has the owner come into the picture? You went to the restaurant. You knew the price of everything you ate and drank. You enjoyed yourself, and now the bill has come. Pay up quietly. Nobody but you has to pay for it, as you have indulged yourself till your stomach seems to burst and your liver wants to pack up. To call the cook, waiter, cashier, and the owner mean, unjust, and partial makes absolutely no sense. So, what we sow, so we reap. So if we have done something which is heavy on ourselves, and then we say that, oh, the price I'm paying is also heavy, doesn't make sense. We need to do the mathematics. Of course, we don't remember our past life karmas. We don't remember what we did or didn't do in our past lives. So, but at least know that whatever we are going through in this life has something to do with the seeds that we have sown. Therefore, go through it with positive surrender and by being in alignment with divine teachings. It mitigates the effect, it eases the effect. So you can create all that ruckus you want, but you will have to pay the bill in the end. This is the eternal law, Rabda. It is applicable to every human being without exception. Even gods are not exempt from this law. Look at Lord Rama's life. He is the Vishnu avatar. Due to a curse incurred by Lord Vishnu, he had to come down in the physical body and go through certain experiences. He came down as Lord Rama. What a life Lord Rama had. First of all, he is not even aware that he is an avatar. He is sent to exile for 14 years. Ravan, meanwhile, kidnaps Ma Sita and spends the entire exile with Ma Sita. Lord Rama wages a war and eventually gets Ma back. But in a few months, to maintain peace and harmony amongst those he reigns over, he has no option but to tell Ma to go away. She goes away, and he spends much more than a decade without Ma and his twin sons. Eventually, due again to strained conditions where his own sons Love and Kush wage a war against their own father's army, the father and sons meet. Once again, Lord Rama has to ask Ma Sita to prove herself, and she, heartbroken, calls out to Mother Earth to open up and devour her. This is what happens. So Lord Rama meets his beloved to lose her again forever. He takes his sons with him, and after making sure they are capable of handling life on their own, he does Jal Samadhi, which means he walks into the ocean and never to come back. So you mean Lord Rama committed suicide? Asked Rabda. In modern day parlance, yes, you could say Lord Rama committed suicide. So then I'm an illustrious company. What say, Baba? Muses Rabda. Baba chose the most abusive words where there was only love in his eyes. So, what Lord Rama's story tries to tell one and all is that nobody escapes karma and its laws. Lord Jesus took on the karmic load of all creation. His crucifixion broke heaven's heart. If they, God manifest, can go through such suffering, why should you and cry about our lot? It's true. What they went through and what they illustrated as God's incarnate was something unbearable to the human mind. We can't even fathom the pain, the agony that they suffered. So ours is just literally a speck of that enormous and unending light. It is not as easy as you say, though, Baba. You and Lord Rama, Lord Jesus, are God incarnates. We are mere mortals surrounded by whatever, the language gets worse. We are surrounded by, our own idiosyncrasies. Each one wants to slander the other. Each one wants to pull the other down. Each one wants to take the other's rightful share. Life is not that easy, Baba, for folks like us. You bloody idiot, says Baba Sai. I'm telling you, God resides in each one. You need to dive within to reach that pearl. And who said that was easy? But you need to keep it at Bacha. In every situation which is not pleasant, each individual usually has three alternatives to handle the situation. The first is you give your best to the problem or situation, and you give it for a proper duration of time. And then, if the situation does not change, you have the right to walk out or distance yourself from the situation. So, we always have choices. God has given us free will, which we must remember and respect, that we all have free will, that we can make a choice to either take a negative situation and be consumed by it, or to simply walk away from it. It could be a bad marriage and children involved, or the fear of starting afresh or having nobody to fall back on. Or it could be even a job where the employer might be trying to nail your family jewels to the floor, or is very manipulative, or the colleagues are political, or whatever. Or it could even be parents or siblings. It could be with some work initiated which needs to be either continued or dissolved. So these are the choices. Do we want to dissolve the situation and resolve it? Or do we want to continue with it? The choice is always ours. We need to see what is best for our soul. So if after giving your best, the situation still does not change and you cannot walk away for whatever reasons, then you are left with two alternatives. The first alternative is, as you cannot move away and the situation is not going to improve or change, you need to make peace with the situation, which is a very difficult thing to do, especially if you're in an abusive marriage. How do you make peace? And abuse is not just physical, sometimes it's emotional and mental. So when one is going through mental abuse or emotional abuse, and you feel that I cannot take this anymore, but I have no choice, so then you make peace with the situation, which is very tough. But with the situation, try to live a life with positive acceptance, calmness, without reacting to what your spouse is doing, trying to find peace and happiness and being happy with God's small mercies, as you truly have no other option. You cannot walk away, so you might as well make the most of the situation and trying to find happiness and peace and self respect within yourself and in the narrow bylanes of the situation. So this is very well expressed. So there are always narrow bylanes of any situation. When you're married and it's not a good situation, you find bylanes with your friends, with your purpose in life, with your hobbies. So those are the bylanes. And if you're single again and you have no companion, it works both ways. So if you are single and you have no so-called companion, then the bylanes might be again your friends, your purpose, your art, your whatever you indulge in, whatever the interests and hobbies that you have. The other alternative is to stew and fret and fume and fight and slander, which most people do, and gossip and behave like a disgruntled animal, or play the victim and gain the sympathy of one and all, which again, most people do. Actually, most people will complain about, how their children don't listen to them, how the marriage is falling apart, but they prefer to do that because it entertains the mind. Mind needs entertainment 24/7. It needs something to think about, to muse over, to get obsessed with. So that's what the mind does. It's all mind games, thus making the karma get knotted only further and increase its intensity. If I keep going on about, I'm so unwell, I'm always unwell, and I love talking about my illness, my health issues, then I'm only adding more energy to the situation. The choice is yours, and no one has to make this choice over and over again. In a day, this choice might have to be made 10 times. Imagine you start moving towards a place of finding peace in your lot and accepting whatever is in store with dignified calmness and fortitude and courage. I like the way he says dignified calmness. So the calmness is not a pretense, it is coming from internal centeredness, internal knowing also that Guruji is always there. He's watching over our efforts, our endeavors to go through the situation with calmness. तो फिर वो अपनी मेहर बरसाते हैं हम पे कि they see, Guruji sees कि she's in pain, she definitely has challenges, but she's still going through it without complaining. She's going through it with calmness. It means then some point, somewhere, then he showers his grace on us to either mitigate or completely dissolve the misery. But that requires a lot of patience. So we accept whatever is restored with dignified calmness, fortitude, courage. This is where free will in the right manner comes across. Karma has put you in an uncomfortable situation, but now do you want to live in peace or create further help for yourself and those around you by reacting, complaining? So do you want to use your free will to experience the hardship or situation or get done with it and grow spiritually with it, using the karmic experience as a springboard to move higher spiritually and deeper within? I always choose the latter. Whatever situation I get into, and situations are always there, we are getting into something or another. Of course, at that time, it seems like all hell has broken loose. But with time, over days or over weeks, then I sit quietly and I just surrender the situation to Guruji that now you take over. I'm done. I've done what I could. I have done my best. Now you do the rest. Or do you want to create more karma by going through a situation like a bloody camel that has had chili powder sprayed into his eyes and shoved up? So all is not destined. Most may be, but each individual has a certain percentage as free will. The higher you grow spiritually, the greater is the free will, and you will have in your grasp. So that's good to know, right? That not everything is predetermined or predestined. Not everything. There's a certain percentage that is, but the rest is free will. So we must have that knowledge and wisdom to recognize that not everything is preordained. It's how we respond to the situation that makes it. Oh, there's an important call, but it's fine. Should I take it? May I? Can you edit it later? My daughter's calling.
Sure, Aunty, please take it.
It's fine. I hope you're getting your answers because this is a very important chapter on karma. And like a lot of people, especially us Indians, we say meri kismati kharab thi, mera ye nahi hua, wo nahi hua. We do that. I mean, it's just inherent in us. But what is kismet? It is an accumulation of our own karmas. So therefore, to be wise and to be sensible about each karma, whether it's health karma, relationship karma, or financial karma, we must accept it with grace, but then also work towards a higher realm where that karma does not hit you hard, right? So the more we raise our vibration through prayer, through mantra jap, Guruji has given us the tools. Now it's up to us to implement them and to use those tools. And if all is destined, then how does mankind create more karma or obliterate the pending karma? Yes, there are certain milestones in the karmic blueprint where each individual have to experience, but even the process of how to go through the experience depends on one's use of free will. Let us say, giving an example, an accident or hardship is destined, okay? So the accident is destined. But how one goes through the accident and the recovery or the maining process, how one goes through the hardship and ordeal depends upon one's use of free will, which would further create more karma. Either the karma that liberates or the karma that suffocates and cages. So, give you an example, my own, when I had breast cancer, I went through the motions, and people, particularly people who are not connected to Guruji, said, "Oh, you're Guruji Sangat." How people like to speak. Sabse bada rog, kya kahenge log, right? So, kya kahenge log? So that was, people bombarded me, people who were non-believers. Oh my God, you're Guruji Sangat. How can you have 3 tumors? So there was a lot of bombardment. But I calmly used to respond to him that this is my karma and I'm going to go through it. I choose. And I was 42 or 43 when I had 3 tumors, breast cancer, but 3 tumors I had. And I went through it calmly. Obviously, Guruji gave me that wisdom. I'm nobody. And I don't want to take credit for it, but I chose to go through it calmly, through the motions, going daily to hospitals, getting my treatment done, having surgeries after surgeries. I had 3 surgeries. And I did not whisper a single complaint to even Guruji. And I could, because he's my father. I could have complained to him that what's going on. But no, I said, this is my karma, but I must go through it with a smile, with a joy in my heart. And I'm not lying to you. I just went through it. And I don't know, today, of course, in hindsight, I can say, I sailed through it. I sailed through it because I did not react. I did not complain. It was me and my cancer. It was nothing to do with anyone else. It's something I probably, the seed I sowed, right? And now I'm cancer free. So it is incredible that if there is a storm, know that He's our shelter. I took shelter in Him. I took shelter in going to Bada Mandir, Chota Mandir, wherever satsangs, real satsangs. In today's world, we must be very selective of the satsangs we go to. Because satsangs with purity, where our vested interest is only to be with Guruji and to converse with him, to communicate only with him. No communication with Sangat even. Even during Guruji's time, there was not a single syllabus connecting to the other Sangat. Not a hello, not a hi, no meet and greet. So when I had cancer, I can only speak for myself. When I had cancer, my only conversation was with Guruji. Nobody else. People knew, Sangat around me, my family, friends, were not connected to Guruji. That, oh my God, poor thing. I was not feeling that pity. I did not play the victim card. I only play all my life the victor card. Now, why? Because Guruji has taught me, go through it. Go through the storm. Because after the storm, there is calmness. After the dark tunnel, there is light. He's taught me from a very young age, from the moment probably I was born, because I was born with a hole in heart and eczema and asthma. And first 10 years was spent in hospitals, in and out. So as a very young child, I learned that, Anita, this is your game only. So play it by your rules, by the rules that govern our lives: calmness, courage, wisdom, and a radiant smile. Because smile is a curve that makes things straight. We have to go through what we go through. The free will is frown or smile. The world is a mirror. If we frown, the world will frown back. If we smile, believe you me, that is what we will receive. Gosh. Phone call is not, somebody's really trying to get in touch with me. And this is the most beautiful chapter that we are going to all read, because this is totally relatable to Guruji, but I have to excuse myself for 1 minute. Yeah, thank you. So the hardship or no deal depends on one's own free will, which will further create more karma, either the karma that liberates us or the karma that suffocates or cages. We remain caged sometimes in our own karma, and we keep repeating the cycle of behavior. Thus, even if one has 10% of free will and all else is karmic experiences of give and take, then 10% is more important. It is that 10% which is going to decide your future lifetimes. So, very important to, again, a pivotal point. Whatever we sow today, anger, resentment towards whatever we're going through, that determines our future lifetimes. It also determines your evolvement, your being liberated or encaged. Peak words are here, pivotal words, liberated or encaged. Do we wish to remain encaged or do we wish to be liberated? So use your free will very well and very carefully. So you mean each individual is the architect of his own destiny, asked Rabda? Obviously. You sow as you reap. Where do God and Master come between all this? We will always be with you when you call out to us. That is their part that they play. And pray for the right things. If you have to experience something, it is a milestone in your karmic blueprint. Then pray to your Lord, Goddess, Master, bless you, to go through the experience with calmness, peace, courage, joy, peaceful surrender, acceptance. Rabda, if you read about me and my life, you will notice that those who were closest to me had to face so many hardships and so much heartbreak. They were living with me in Shirdi. I was in the body. I was there with them. They used to meet me every day. It's like Guruji when he was there in the physical. We used to go every day, but we still had issues. They used to meet me every day, sometimes many times in a day. But they had to still go through their suffering and karma, beta. Could I save them from their destiny? Yes. I could have postponed the inevitable, but what one sows, one reaps. So, postpone, yes, but get rid of? No. My closest disciples, some of them lost their children at a young age. They became bankrupt. Radha Krishna Ai, whom I used to call Radha Krishna or Ai, which means mother or Sala, as when she came to Shirdi, she had been roaming from one pilgrimage place to another for 5 years all alone. And there was a breakdown school in which I told her to go to and to reside, and she made it her home. What was her life? She was married at the age of 17, and a week later, her husband passed away. And it broke her emotionally and mentally. But from the moment she came to Shirdi, I became her presiding lord and master. And she served me for nearly 10 years. She obeyed me, and I was very strict with her, as I needed to raise a karmic blueprint, or else she would have had lifetimes of suffering. She served me and did exactly as I told her. And Rabda, how do you think she died? She got burnt alive. A lot of people think she committed suicide, but she simply got burnt alive. Not more than 100 feet from where I sat. The Sai sat in Dwarka Mai and she got burnt alive. She served me day and night. She used to sweep the roads I walked on so that pebbles and stones would not hurt my feet, and cow dung and dog shit would not soil my clothes or my feet. She would take care of all those I sent to her house, feed them, nurture them, and eat only the simple roti and some vegetable I sent her. She would only eat my leftovers, though she cooked for countless who came to meet me. She was not even allowed to come inside the masjid. I have screamed and abused her for making changes in Dwarka Mai, but she would silently go through the screaming and ranting and abuses and do all that so I would be at peace. When I would rest in Shavadi every alternate night, she would often at night clean the masjid walls as soot would accumulate from the ever-burning fire. Dunimai, she would clean the whole masjid and then keep everything back as it was so that I would not get angry at anything being touched. In fact, so many rituals connected with me are due to I's insistence and persistence. The pomp and glory with which I am worshipped today and was worshipped when I was in the body is due to Radha Krishna. She wanted me to be worshipped like a king, like Lord Vital, who is the king of Pandavarpur. First, the Urus began, and then later on, it was decided to merge the Urus celebration with the festival of Ram Navami. For me, it was done to bring about harmony amongst Hindu and Muslim children. Earlier, 7,000 people would gather, and eventually went up to 70,000 devotees. Just like Guruji, his following is increasing by the day. So Salai was in charge of all the internal arrangements, from the needs of the pilgrims to getting the paraphernalia ready for the festival. All she did on her own. The cooking was done by her, and the ginger powder and sugar prasad, which till date devotees are given in Shirdi, was first prepared in Radha Krishna. I would sleep every alternate night at Chavadi, and the whole procession taking place from Dwarka Mai to Chavadi with pomp and glory, music and dancing. Like a king traveling from one country to another, was started and supervised only by her. I would want to eat something and tell my people to inform Radha Krishna about the dishes. And Rabda, she would have already prepared those very dishes. She loved me so much that she even knew what I would like to eat. When I desired to eat something, she loved to sing, and her voice was so melodious, you felt the gods had descended to hear her. She loved singing. She loved singing songs of Sant Tukaram and Jaidev. She loved to take her iktara, the one-stringed instrument, and sing. So I could hear her sing those divine words. So many times I have sat and heard her sing from far. Yes, she had a temper and could be blunt, but also very emotional and erratic in nature, but nobody could love me the way she did. She truly did not want anything from me. She just wanted to love and worship me. Her life was spent thinking about and loving me, and I had to let her die by being burnt to death. Do you have any idea what it is to have one's child burnt to death? And when you can't stop it, when you can stop it, but you know it is best for the child to go through the experience so that the child is freed from the mundane existence of Maya and can progress on a spiritual path, either again in the body or in the spirit. So many could not understand how Sai could let Radha Krishna die in such a brutal manner, but the fakir knows, and the fakir knows the best for all. The ways and workings of the master are unfathomable. Yes, every minute you serve a master, give a master what he or she asks for, the master has to repay it 10 or 100-fold more. If you love your master, he or she will give you 1,000-fold more. This is how we operate. We never leave a debt unpaid or unrewarded. We are not looking for praise or adulation. Our role is to first help you get rid of your karmic baggage by making you go deeper within and finding your God and Master within. Like Guruji said very clearly and categorically, "Main tode andar de Rab nu jagana hai." So if you have to go through the worst ordeal or life or pass over, so be it. Go through it, knowing we go through it too with you. But be certain it is for your well-being and perpetual salvation. Never ever doubt this. I did not let I burn. I made sure all her pending karma was burnt away, and she merged with me. Even now, she serves me in more ways than anybody can fathom. But Rabda, karma had to be burnt away, bacha. This is the law, this is the way, this is how it is meant to be. It's really funny we're reading this because yesterday I read it in the Shipran where the master was sitting and not far away from where his most devout believer and dedicated devotee was getting burnt in the fire. And the master then said that she did not feel the flames of the fire, but she went through the fire. She had to go through the motions. And she had to go through the motions because she was being purified and her karmas were being expiated. So, when we have to go through the metaphorical fire, not the literal fire, but the metaphorical fire of, relationship issues, financial issues, or, physical issues, which are health issues, we must go through it with calmness. And we must go through it knowing that when we are suffering, even our master is suffering. Guruji is not suffering less when we have to suffer. He sympathizes, he empathizes, but he watches and handholds us go through that karmic fire. So that was a very, very profound and a very knowledgeable and enlightening chapter. So we could read another, but it's already 12:30 almost. So if you want, we can stop here because we have so much to absorb. In fact, we should maybe just go through it a little bit, just recap the essence of this chapter, that nobody can escape karma. The karmic destiny is something we must go through. And Guruji mitigates it, he alleviates the pain, and we need to keep our vibration up by loving our Guru more and more, loving Guruji unconditionally, without any kind of vested interest. We must love for the sake of loving. And love does not translate into how many satsangs we're attending in a week. It's by chalte firte, mantra jap karo, mani man karo, being grateful for everything, a morsel of food, a sip of water, whatever we're having. We must, with a lot of gratitude and with, exhilarating thanks, just say, thank you, Guruji. Thank you for this water. Thank you for the shower. Thank you for the little things which are actually so much more for other people. They are not getting clean water. We are drinking clean water. We are having a shower in our homes, which again is giving us cleansing. People, many people aren't even able to have showers. So we must count our blessings and know that we are truly privileged, truly blessed. And we have no right to complain about anything because there's so many who are suffering. So we must ask for Sarvada Bala and let them also enjoy the pleasures of life and be in Guruji's fold. Rakhi charna de kol Guruji. Hamesha rakhi kar jannat karo aur meri mat achhi rakhna. Mat uchi, and sir niva. So Jai Guruji, thank you very much. It was a very, very enlightening and a very profound chapter. I hope you all enjoyed. Till tomorrow. Jai Guruji.